welcome to the studio, Ray. Who was that?
Happy to be here.
So this Dalian studio was designed and built to support client collaborations. We bring our clients here to collaborate with them on creation, ideas, prototyping. And you will see around the studio, we also use it as a showcase for IBM technology. So we bore and the two different things. We will try to focus mainly on things we did here, but we also sometimes when the client comes, we show industry solutions from around IBM, things that exist, the assets of IBM. But today we will focus on things that were done in China. As visitors come in, first thing they see is this welcome screen. It changes based on the season. So now it's summer, so it's showing summer. Winter it changes, and Christmas it changes, and Halloween it changes. And we change the whole decoration of the studio based on the season. So we try to keep a culture, or interactive culture, that all the designers come in and change everything. By the way, this studio is not only for design. We have architects, blockchain people, so it's an end-to-end delivery studio, even all the way to IoT. I'll show you later what we do with IoT. Okay. So let's go ahead. First thing, I would like to take you to the stage here. So, as you know, I lead both digital content, PSIX, and CPT. So I would like to just introduce my team. So, like I mentioned to you yesterday, 700 people, 200 of them in IX, and the rest is all in CPT. We cover digital reinvention, content enterprise, and also we cover microservice architecture. This is my organization. I also lead the IX service line myself. I used to have a leader, but he left. He actually went to position in IBM. So I lead all the IX team. We have all the different practices. We also have a digital strategy leader, and then a business strategy team. And also we have CPT. Mainly in CPT, we only cover CBDS and CPR.
And how many are in CBDS? You said 200 seats.
It's about maybe the majority of the teams in CBDS, about 50 in CPR. So we're not cheating. But we do a lot of cases.
From a professional role standpoint, how many data scientists versus
20 data scientists, all PhDs, and we do a lot of the data modeling, and when we show you around, we show some of the data modeling showcases. Again, this
one more question. Given that we have now announced these innovation units, right, and blockchain obviously, do you intend to grow those, or what's the growth plan for?
Within the practices, we're actually aligned with them. So if I go back to this, so if you look at talent, we already have a talent reinvention focus.
Yeah.
If you look at blockchain, we have a blockchain focus. If think what the other ones, I think cloud is not under me. It's in CEI, but my microservices team covers the microservice architecture on cloud. So built on cloud, we cover that in my team.
Okay.
But if it's cloud migration or things like that, then the CI.
Anything on Salesforce?
Yeah, so we have Salesforce. We have a very strong Salesforce team.
Okay.
We supported Japan get the ANA deal, $60 million, and we're delivering it right now. Okay, good. Very strong presence.
How many designers do we have?
Designer about 30. 30 designers. So if you look at GBS overall in China, we have about 12,000 people, and 200 of them in IX, and about 7 development centers. We exist in Beijing, Dalian, Suzhou, which is close to Shanghai, Nanjing, Wuhan, Chengdu, and Shenzhen, and there's a new one that was just created in Guangzhou, so now it's. And I'm not going to cover the showcases because I'm going to show you something. These are our industry solutions. I'm just going to flip through them quickly, but there's a lot of things we do by industry. So this is Japan Airline. We do the garage with them. This is ANA, another airline. So there's a lot of different things. When we go around the studio,
so for Japan Airlines, which solution is that? Mobile solutions?
it was a VR solution and a navigation solution. So two solutions. The ideation workshop happened here, and come up with ideas, and then we prototype them, then we identify the prototype, then we take them to Japan, and then the garage is established in Japan airline in Japan, and the team is building them. One is using the pictures from your trip to have a VR experience in the airport. That was all the pictures that you had during your trip, and the other one was having an iPad on your car when you're moving around in the airport to navigate you and tell you what to do and things like that. So I'm not going to go over these. We're just going to go through the tour and then go through things. So let's start from this area. Mainly these ones, but yeah, there's things come everywhere. So in my industry bag, there's a lot of things. Instead of on the line, Michael is our most talented fan behind it. So go ahead.
Hello, thank you for coming here. I'm Michael. This space is called a digital review space. We mainly demonstrate Watson, a little bit of Watson's capability to our clients and other visitors. So we have this prototype of virtual assistant. It's called a Watson display. Here we have this Watson display's architecture overview. So it shows that we are using the these Watson APIs on the IBM cloud public, and we also use the public cloud's Watson IoT platform to collect the sensors data from the studio, so we can have some humidity data or temperature data in this big room. And in the middle of it, we are using the dedicated IBM cloud to bridge the clients, bridge the communication between the Watson display client and the IBM Watson's APIs. And here we are in the studio and we are using the two sensors for the Watson display. One is the red one, that is the radar sensor. It allows us to control the screen nearby the screen without touching it. And another one is the Kinect, so we can remotely control the screen just behind the line. If you raise your hand, you can control it. And that's about the architecture. One thing is we have the asset center. We use this system to host the data of the IBM solutions. So if the visitors come in, we can show them the IBM solutions.
Okay.
Let me show you how it works. Hey Watson. Hey Watson. Can you please introduce yourself?
It will take time for you to know me.
So this is the Watson's demonstration, introduction video.
This morning, I read over 1,000 articles in less than a second.
You have seen this one, right? And you can ask about the weather. Hey Watson, what's the weather like in Tokyo?
Here is the weather for Tokyo.
Can you show me some assets?
Would you like to take a look by technology or industry? Industry. Banking. Here are some assets of banking. Blue Pages Mobile. SMBC.
So this is the one of the
後輩くんはスマホアプリをかなり使いこなしている。ねえ、振り込みなんかもアプリでやるの？はい。だってス
Michael is the architect for that project.
Okay.
It started from something called the Japan IIT program. It's an innovation program, a pre-incubation program. We start with a 1 month prototype, 2 weeks prototyping, and then 2 weeks MVP development, and then we showcase it to the Japan team. They liked it, the client liked it. So we did after that 4 iterations. It's a 4.9 star on Apple Store.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And it's so famous that Apple, this is an Apple commercial
Right.
on Japan
I
TV,
remember that.
and it's showing SMBC as well.
Yeah, one of the showcases, this one is another one. This is the drone project. The client have some requirements like we want to detect some devices of equipment of them,
Right.
and if to see if whether they are broken or not. They want to analyze the status. So we can use the drone to fly to several predefined points, like the coordinates,
Right.
and after that we use the Google's TensorFlow to do the object detection and recognition, and then to take the pictures and then fly back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, Michael.
It's a real-time detection of, I saw it,
Yeah.
the obstacles, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's the real-time detection of faces or objects or whatever, and then processing of that.
Yes.
Is that being done?
Yeah.
You see in the video it's showing car, person,
Yeah.
so it's doing that real-time detection as it's flying. So now he's just giving the mission.
Let me rephrase it. And you said if you go take pictures and come back, but what I'm asking for is if you take a picture and based on what it finds, I want certain actions to be taken, and I'll redirect the drone to do something else, right? Meaning, can it be that real-time interactive in its actions?
I think it's only detect the objects. If
Right.
it recognize the different objects like this one,
Yeah.
it will find a right angle. If the angle is wrong,
Okay.
it is adjusting. It will adjust itself and then take the picture.
Okay.
But we don't have too much trainings on that because this requires a lot of time, right? And we only do this demo to show that we have this capability.
Let me answer Ray. We could program it to do actions based on the object that we want to detect, and based on that do specifics. So here what he did, he just defined the mission. Go from this point to this point.
Back, right.
And then if you find the obstacle, navigate around the obstacles.
Right.
When you find the object, detect it. If you detect it, then position the camera in the right angle, take pictures, and then come back.
Come back. Okay.
But can we program it to do much more than that? Yes, we can. And this is like a consumer drone. If you get a commercial
Exactly.
drone, much more powerful.
Much more powerful.
So that's some of the problems that he was telling me. He had very little processing power of the drone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Welcome to the Salesforce Common, and please have a seat. I'm Gabby from Salesforce team, and it's an honor to be here to bring our capability introduction. So early in 2017, IBM found a strategic partnership with Salesforce. With our strong consulting background, our package suite, IBM became one choice for Salesforce users and deliveries. And you can see we have a poster here to mark the moment. To smile your face, yeah. So let's get started with the video about IBM CSC's offerings to see in the Salesforce area what and how our IBM CSC can offer.
Salesforce is an integrated customer success platform, the #1 CRM system in the world, enabling businesses to sell, service, and market like never before. IBM, a cognitive and cloud company, delivers data-centric and transformative solutions to enterprises across industries. Earlier this year, the two companies announced a landmark partnership with IBM bringing Watson, Weather Company's Insights, and IBM Application Suite into the Salesforce platform. The gravity of this partnership applies to data. Data is at the core of every industry, and artificial intelligence is the only way to turn all of this data into knowledge and actionable insights for better decisions. IBM's cognitive platform, Watson, and Einstein, the artificial intelligence engine from Salesforce, Now, working together, it applies the benefits of leveraging data with and outside the enterprise, combining the general and the specific to give clients smarter, quicker, and more informed analysis. A retailer can now create personalized, localized campaigns based on Watson's analysis of the weather, shopping patterns, and social media sentiment, plus Einstein's understanding of customer-specific shopping preferences. An insurer can have better insights into things like adverse weather events that can then impact economy in a particular region, helping them to proactively engage with anybody that might be affected to get in their car and away from chaos. Property managers can have the elevators connected to the cloud with Watson providing timely maintenance problem predictions. Then, in Salesforce, they can roll a truck to the elevator to fix the problem right then and there. The possibilities go on and on. To unlock the possibilities of your enterprise, IBM CIC is the centerpiece that helps you through that journey. We have the required industry expertise and technical know-how to get it done in short iterations. We are providing customized, cognitive solutions for specific business outcomes through the Salesforce platform. IBM CIC is the starting point of our future, the future of unlimited possibilities.
So in IBM CIC, Salesforce is a key focus area that we are running a number of initiatives to uplift our capability. And last year we launched Blueoff Garage here in Dalian. You know, Blueoff is the company for Salesforce solution delivery. So we acquired the company and we adopt their methodology to improve our delivery capability. So it's the second Blueoff Garage dedicated for the AP market. And also we have experienced team, including RT, consultants, and developer. We got a number of certifications, and I just want to show you because it's a great poster, and I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. So such like me, I'm a graduate here, joined IBM since 2015, and last year I just started my Salesforce journey with the training and some real project experience, and now I already got 4 certifications like administration, platform developer, velocity, and also the sales cloud. Thank you. And also, we have several successful client cases all over the world. Let me show you some CIC cases within here, such like my life insurance company. So using Salesforce, IBM helped them to digitize the insurance purchase program to enable the salespeople just having an iPad to have the conversation with the customers to recommend the insurance and do the purchase online. And the other thing is that they can submit a claim for the customer using this platform. And Bayer, the medical company in Japan. So using Salesforce, IBM helped them to collaborate between sales, market, and research, and use the data for the sales reps. They can quickly target the customers. And Panasonic, the Japan manufacturing company, using Salesforce, we help them to integrate the global website contents, just like you can create one version of the website and then distribute with other ones with different language. And also, Luzhou Laojiao, it's a Chinese beverage company. Using Salesforce, we create a brand new IT system based on the cognitive, cloud, and digital to simplify the interaction between the manufacturers and distributors to enable them accomplish the marketing campaign transformation. These are several client cases. And one more thing I would like to share here that our team just keep innovating in the Salesforce area, such like last year, we create a solution idea for the Aflac insurance company in Japan to integrate the Salesforce with WeChat. You know WeChat, right? Yeah, you got WeChat account. Yeah. It's a pretty universal social application in China, and the background is like more than 700,000 Chinese live in Japan. So we integrate the Salesforce with WeChat to implement the functions like membership management, and to improve user experience, and we can have a really focus.
The world is changing fast around us. Nowadays, everybody and everything is connected, and the element that links us with one another is social media. According to Digital Marketing Association, social media will grow to 24% of companies' marketing budget within the next 5 years. To succeed in this digital age, it is pertinent to optimize the use of social media channels. As a Salesforce platform user, you may wonder what you can do with your social media channels. Let's take a look at WeChat, the most widely used social media micro-messaging platform in the world. With more than 889 million active users across the globe, nearly 1 billion users live in Japan. Here in China CIC, we build a bridge between Salesforce server and the WeChat platform. By scanning a QR code for your WeChat official account,
You can follow public accounts of like insurance company, you can develop a message and functions like my stories, and you can be directed to the homepage by clicking just in the public account.
Customers worldwide. Once the customer scans the QR code,
And also you can do membership registration.
register.
Just like you don't need to put a lot of your information, and information is generated by the WeChat platform and stored in the
Insurance
Salesforce
companies
platform.
offer them checking their existing insurance plans, purchasing a new policy, and the reason of request
Also
for
like
claims
my
based on
membership
existing
points
policies.
and my order
All of these
to
functions will be done on
be
your
convenient for the users to manage their order.
of your mobile device, allowing for an amazing user experience for the insurance company to capture new and retain their current business.
So this integration just improve the user experience in the Chinese user in Japan and can help them to improve the market among the Chinese users. I think this is all for
This
this
is for the Africa, Japan, or Africa State, Africa America.
Africa Japan,
Okay.
because there are more than 700 Chinese using living in Japan. So they want to grow the market for Chinese users, and we do this integration. You know, every Chinese like have a WeChat account, and they can easily be directed to the homepage and manage their ornaments, also to manage their information like that. Yeah.
Let me ask you a completely different question. You said you joined as a new hire in 2015.
Yeah.
Was that right out of college?
Yeah, college.
Okay. So in the 4 years that you have been here, right?
Yeah.
How do you like this? How do what did you start off as, and obviously you're enjoying the Salesforce work that you're doing. Tell me about your personal career and how you.
My personal career.
Yeah. Do you like what you're doing, and
Yeah.
what do you want to be doing at IBM?
Yes. Actually, when I graduated and joined IBM, I just feel like, oh, I got a so great offer, and I have no idea about my career since I joined. And then I become like an application developer and focus on maybe coding, and for the most of are the Japan projects and some of are the worldwide projects to be a developer to do the real project experience. And then I think I'm an outgoing person, and and I like to communication with the people or the customers. Yeah, so I just think I need to use my advantages. Like I think my career need to be more communication with the people and become like a business analyst.
Okay.
And to have the more communication with the clients and also the project managers. And in last year, and I'm just grew myself. I think the technical knowledge will be more important in my career life. And yes, I need to be transferred like a consultant. Like I need to have enough technology, the knowledge, and also, I need the industry knowledge. Yeah, so actually last year, except the Salesforce certification, I also got some AWS certification, like Solution Architect Associate. Yeah, so I'm very interested in other Salesforce or cloud related. Also last year IBM adopt Red Hat. I think maybe in the future I will learn more, and I will. Maybe I think my career path for me now is a consultant, and also I'm very interested in project management, and I have lead such like small project, like maybe 4 or 3 members. Yeah, but it's all experience. Yeah, I think grew myself a lot.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
How
I
about
think
the architect?
architect, wow, it's difficult, but I'm interested in. Yeah, but I think I'm still young. Maybe I might experience is still not enough for an architect. Yeah, but I think IBM is a great platform for me to grow. Yeah, we have a lot of career paths. Yeah,
But
everything
she's
is possible.
AWS certified already.
Yeah.
So you're on the right path.
Yeah.
We're very proud of her. She's an exemplary graduate hire. I mean, we should not call her a graduate hire anymore, right? Big
Yeah,
3 years
she's not
already.
4 years going, right?
Yeah, so, but she really started and really developed herself into a true multi-cloud practitioner, right? So works on Salesforce, work on AWS, gonna probably work on Red Hat, so
Yeah.
amazing.
Good. No, I can see that. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, I'm sure blue. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Thank you
Thank you
for
very
your time.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think I really introduced myself. Then we're talking situation. I know it's quite old now. Everybody's talking about quantum enterprise already. And then this infographic too well. The experience, new focus, new expertise, new way to work. Every time when I'm presenting this to the clients, I'm so proud to say that IBM is the only company that has all those technologies out there that's able to help you feel this journey that I already mentioned. Because it's already past methodology, so we're not going to indulge in this, but then we're going to focus on those cases that we've done. These are the cases that I presented yesterday, because I listened to it for a second time. This is Shimizu Wolves, I suppose. He's one of the football clubs in Japan, the top league. And this happened when IBM Japan partnered to us, so the fan engagement journey for these football clubs and hope that we can help them. So we did research, we workshop with the football fans, and we find out that there are several pain points for those fans. For example, they have to search through all those websites to gather information. If you're a fan, you want to watch a game, you want to know their past records, who's playing today, and even manager, and what's the preview, and commentators from those editorials, so you can have a good grasp of what's going to happen today, and you may have an anticipation on the results of this game. So we create the data button. Basically, it allows you to get all the information you want to know about this game, and then the past record of these two games, so that you can have a good understanding of what's to come. And then the second main point is for football fans who really want to go to the game. There's a lot of preparation to do. They need to purchase tickets on the website. They need to go to the convenience store to pick up the tickets individually. And then they need to plan the bus trips, who they're going with, whether or not to prepare food, buy jerseys, a lot of things to consider. Once you're there, you are not familiar with the surroundings. You're lost. You don't know where your seats are, so you need to find seats. With that, we create this game day button, which allows you to do everything with this one button. Buy a ticket, find out where it is with navigation, book bus, everything is included here. And then, the third big pain point for the football fans is once the game is finished, the lost connection with other fans and then the football club itself. So we create this button, the social button. It allows you to interact with footballers, the football club, and then even other football fans. So they can post videos, pictures on it, chat with the fellow fans, which keep them engaged with this. And it's been quite successful. We built it with the front-end coding and then the fake data in the back. So we present the client with this working prototype, and they're so impressed they decided to deal with us. The second.
So after they sign the deal, have you built it and delivered it, or is it work in progress?
Let me answer this one. It's a political one. I already know who designed it. So we designed this thing, and then partner told us, yes, I'm getting it. I'm getting the contract signed. Told the team, we held the team for 3 months, and then we went to a vendor. Really pissed off.
The partner or the
Well, I don't know what influenced him, because he was working with us very closely, and he was very happy with our work. So I think he got forced.
But they're using your design?
Yeah. My design is already published.
It's IBM. As long as it's good for IBM work.
But at least we did the UX, so it's okay. What I don't like is that we did with BMP. And I was expecting investing in BMP so that I can get actual development. I didn't end up getting it. Anyway, we learned.
Yes.
Next time we'll hold it.
Second is the website is called Japan Icon. We still use this concept of one-stop destination for everything. So if you're booking a trip, then you can find out all the information, booking hotels, bus drivers, vlogs of other visitors, things like that. And then the next case, this is the case I presented yesterday, BMW in China. Well, we hold an envisioning workshop with them, trying to help them find out their digital transformation strategies. And we have done several projects with them already. This is one of them. So basically, they have a multiple production line in different locations. And then as their executives sitting in the office, managing reports, the metrics, the standards, all different. So even though they have all those reports right in front of them, it doesn't know who does well, who does bad. So we create this futuristic UI dashboard for them. Basically, it's a command center. It's real-time data on the screen. And then we unify their standards, give them a single standards and metrics of all the production line management. Of course, we get those data through talking to the managers, talking to the production line workers, really work there, and then find out what's the right metrics and what's the right standards for those metrics. Unifies the standards and then put them all on the single screen. But that's not it, because we imagine that there's something went wrong, it will be alert flashing on the screen. But then you have an alert, but you cannot do anything about it. That's bad experience as well.
Right.
So we create the mobile phone application for each employees, each workers in the factory. So when an alert happens, it will be sent to the relevant parties.
Right.
And then they will receive an alert saying that, oh, something went wrong, and then you need to deal with this way with this person. And then once it's resolved, they will have a button to resolve it. So they can manage all those production lines in different locations.
So where does the information come? Is it real-time information that you capture in present? Or is it somewhat static as of yesterday, or what's the frequency of updates?
We have IoTs on the machines, and then of course we have supervisors just walking through the lines. If they find out something's wrong, they can take a picture, upload it to the system. It's also reflected here. So it's IoT plus supervisors.
So it's automated plus human?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
The reason I'm thinking about this is, we can talk about this later, but there is a command center or control center, whatever the term is, that we want to define for an IBM garage.
Okay.
And so this is for projects that come through an IBM garage. And somewhat similar to this command center notion, but we got to ideate on. So if there are 20 projects that are up there, what would senior executives like to see, or what do they need to see?
Yes.
So the CEO, CIO comes along and says, show me where we are today with respect to the project. Can we present them in a few dashboard screens what the scale is?
Yes.
And if they choose to, they can drill down into a particular project. Right? That sort of view is what we want, and so let's talk about that separately. I do want to talk to you.
Yeah, sure. Then the next case is about China Post. It's one of the state-owned courier business. And then you have a lot of competition in the market, both domestic and international. For example, DHL, they all have presence in China. And so this company is challenged dramatically. They're losing market share. So how to reinvent themselves? Basically, we did 3 steps. First, we gathered data in one location. We built a website for their management, and then apps for the users, as well as your couriers. So everything is orchestrated through data. So if I'm a courier, I know which package I should send where, and then to optimize my time, optimize the route. And then as a user, I can easily track where my package is, when it's going to be delivered to me. If I'm not there, I'm just inform the courier I'm not there. Please send it 2 hours later or something. everything is coordinated in data. And then the management have a nice dashboard in the office, tracking everything, knowing who's doing well and then what needs to be fixed. So we help them revolutionize the processes and then how they manage the business. Next is CCTV, is an executive dashboard sort of thing, but then it helps them understand which shows is more popular, which time the commercial makes the most money, will get the most views, things like that. With these data, they can optimize their resources and knows when to broadcast what and what is most effective.
You know, I see this affecting CPU usage and whatever else, right? So, this is a dashboard of what?
Dashboard. This is the dashboard of how they manage their resources. For example, which shows is, I think this is a rendering, so some of the wording may not be accurate, but the purpose for this is for which show is most popular, which is most effective, because you can't really show those real screens from the client, and they don't want you to see the data, so we use fake data. The wording there may not be correct, it's just rendering.
Okay.
The next one is for car dealership for Volkswagen in China. So when you're buying a car, as a user, you want to know the metrics for this car, and as well as how it compares with other brands. So this app allows the sales rep to easily type in two kind of cars and then compare the metrics to show, okay, this car how much, and then the metrics are here. These are the things you want to know. You still didn't, or you're not quite sure, and then we can show you another model, things like that. It's a tool for the sales rep to better engage with your customers. And then in the back end, of course, you have all those data. As an executive, you can see the marketing, sales revenue for each dealership. So this might also be an inspiration for the IBM Garage dashboard.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing I'm thinking about is, have you guys done any dashboarding for DevOps?
We have a DevOps showcase that we're going to show you in a minute. But yeah, this is all UX, UI.
Yes.
And which of these cases do you actually build? Which of all those cases?
We are responsible for UI in the backend.
For all of them except the response one. Only the response one.
Yeah, I'm mostly interested in the UX, UI, right? The creative side of it, because that is what.
For DevOps,
how do you communicate, complex information, right? That's what this is in a consumer. So that's what I'm looking for. DevOps. DevOps platforms I see are inherently complex. Right? I'm trying to demystify the complexity.
to show where in the pipeline is your stuff, what,
Well,
where.
what, even as fundamental as what should we show, right? DevOps gives you all kinds of data, right? So many comments that I made and all that, but then you flip it around and say, all that tells me is your agility. So maybe there is an agility dashboard that says, oh, I can do 50 commits a week if I want, but then what is pragmatic is week and long. So something, and then each time, how much errors do I see in my unit testing process? Again, that's a quality. I don't need to see the details of everything of that. Convert it to an index and say, look, this team is doing 6 out of 8, whereas the other team is doing 7.8 out of 8.
So it's like a overall DevOps.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything.
First define the metrics.
Maybe we have created, nothing exists, right?
And then you create all the teams, and then you can see which team needs help, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can do some homework and come up with some. I think that's it for me. I have another one, but I need to set things up. So,
okay.
We're gonna go
you guys
to
can
blockchain.
scoot over.
You guys can just slide over with the chairs. That's why we have them on our screens. And Jerry is our blockchain practice leader.
Hey, Jerry.
Good morning. Okay, let me introduce our blockchain capability. As you can see here, our student. Okay, let me introduce our blockchain capability. As you can see here, our student team developed a solution demo to show our client how to leverage blockchain to track the safety in supply chain area. So in their current business model, it's difficult to tell which participant should take the responsibility for the policy group by, right? So by leveraging blockchain plus IoT, we can reduce the dispute or solve the dispute quickly. Let's have a look how it works. Oh, my finger probably is really damaged. So when the food factory loads the food to the food container to the ship, the IoT sensor will be used to track the temperature of the container during transportation. So let's start. As you can see here, we have a simple business contract to define business rules, like if the temperature exceeds 0 degrees, the distributor may decide to reject this delivery or get compensation from the carrier. So we use smart contract to implement this business rule. So when we start the shipment, as you can see, the temperature is under 0 degrees. So this is basically a success. So as you can see, we have the transport history, all the contract status are matched. So this is a successful scenario. The carrier gets paid from the factory and the supermarket to get new ones. Let me show you a failure scenario. So as you can see, the temperature is above the 0 degree. So when the ship arrives at the distribution center, we will get a notification. So the distributor can check whether there is an issue with the IoT sensor or it's really the condition is not matched. So this is the demo. Let me show you our sensor. Okay, so here are the plans we mainly work for blockchain project, mainly focus on banking, insurance, retail, and manufacturing industry. So our major achievement in 2016 is to deliver a blockchain-based custody system for Post-Saving Bank of China. This is the first deployment in China to apply blockchain technology to financial industry. So in 2017, we supported GBS Taiwan to move to blockchain deals. One is the charity donation platform for physical company. Another is a blockchain platform for cashless life insurance. We also supported GBS Singapore to deliver a contract management blockchain platform. So last year we collaborated with apps video design team to design a video solution for Fraser company, the milk product company, to show them how to leverage blockchain to help their business. I can show you the video later. We also deliver another blockchain solution for post-processing Bank of China again. And this year we have 3 commercial projects running for Japan market.
Now, in addition to, so I see a number of POCs and a number of solutions as well. How many of these solutions are you also supporting? Or is it just developed, delivered, and then somebody else manages?
For the most of them is development contract. For the one POC of post-processing Bank of China, we have a maintenance contract. So it's taught by another team in GCG. Let me show you one case we developed for Japan to buy a pharmaceutical company in Japan. So, for the drug company, they are thinking to sell a drug. They pass the first testing. They need to send the evidence from this test to prove the drug is safe to and effective for its intended use. So the FDA agency will review the company data and the proposed labeling, right? So the challenge for the drug company is how to provide the tested data from a serious test in people to determine whether the drug is safe to use to treat the disease, or whether it really provides a real health benefit. So from FDA agency perspective, they have concerns about the governance of the test data, whether they are real or not, right? So let's see how our blockchain solution can address this two points. The health data of the patient will be uploaded to the shared ledger via a wearable device or smartphone. So the FDA agency and the drug company can get the test data from the blockchain platform like almost real-time manner. In this case, the drug company can provide the tamper proof of the test data to the FDA agency, and the FDA agency can get the trusted data source from our blockchain platform. So this is currently it's running in POC phase. The next phase we may integrate the hospital examination system. This is still under discussion because we are still running the first phase. Yeah.
So do that company has a scale legacy system to manage it, or it's a new one?
It's a new one.
Okay, new strategy to manage it.
Yeah, because we want to do a new ecosystem which can share for the pharmacy company, also the government. Show you another case we developed for Japan. So what's lucky for you? So in Japan, if you are not 20 years old, you are not allowed by the IBM, right? So this is the regulation in Japan. So how to prove I'm 20 years old and I can buy Apple? So we do research. We can leverage blockchain platform to provide a digital identity of the citizen to different organizations, right? But we have another challenge. There are some Europeans also living in Japan. So if we want to store their personal information for GDPR regulation, it will be a challenge because data we stored in a blockchain platform cannot be deleted. So how to address this?
Yes, Europeans can't buy beer, that's it.
Okay, so we don't store every information on our blockchain platform. We leverage the zero knowledge proof to store the hash data of some person attributes, and we can leverage this algorithm to provide the information they need. So this is the solution. Basically, it's like a research with different topics here. The last one, I will show you the video.
As we all know, tracking every step of a dairy product's production is very difficult and complicated. There are many parties involved. The cattle farms that supply the raw milk, the logistics vendor who moves it, the dairy product manufacturer, and the dealers and distributors. Each party has its own operation system, and due to the frequent transfer of knowledge from one system to another, information may get misinterpreted or lost completely. Finding the source of a problem could be quite difficult. Rizzo, a powdered milk manufacturer from the Netherlands, joined hands with IBM. Together they will reinvent the powdered milk manufacturing business with blockchain, making the supply chain of powdered milk safe, transparent, and trustworthy. Let's look at how IBM helps Frizzo transform its business with blockchain solutions. These are the cattle farms that supply the raw milk to Frizzo, located at 23 degrees north latitude. Here, the cows are fed with fresh, natural grass and produce purest milk with great quality. The farmers will record every single detail of each cow and the milk it produces, including the date, the air temperature during milking, the farming area, the health record of each cow, how the milk is stored, and many other relevant data. Let's move on to the transportation of the milk. Leveraging IoT sensors, cattle farms, logistics vendors, and Frizzo supervise the real-time temperature of each batch of milk during the transportation. The batch number and temperature are automatically uploaded onto the blockchain record. Every single drop of the milk is safely accounted for. When the milk arrives at Frizzo will check the quality of each batch of milk, store the good quality milk, and return any bad quality batches. Frizzo will enter the results of the quality check onto the blockchain. Frizzo's bank automatically deposits real-time payments to the cattle farm's account according to the number of good quality batches received. Thanks to the completeness of the data, all of the raw milk's quality and status is under strict surveillance at all times. At the same time, the data transparency increases the productivity and reduces waste and cost for the entire production. From the minute the raw milk is stored at Frizzo, IoT sensors on premise start to upload all sorts of data onto the blockchain record. Interior and exterior temperature of the manufacturing equipment, steaming time for killing the bacteria, equipment status when bottling the milk, the equipment maintenance record, everything that's related to the production safety will be recorded on the blockchain. Frizzo can now use this trusted data to get an insurance policy for the safety of its product, maintaining a healthy operation model. Then the blockchain will track where each bottle of milk powder is shipped, with shipment record as well. In this way, IBM's blockchain solution makes sure every step of the manufacturing and sale of powdered milk is transparent, securely guarded, trackable, and trustworthy. If there ever is a safety issue, Frizzo can easily find the source of the problem and recall only the products involved, keeping the impact to both Frizzo and the end user to a minimum. As a consumer, when you're shopping in the mall or online for baby milk powder, you can rest assured that every step of Frizzo's milk powder's production is transparent and trackable and securely guarded by IBM's blockchain solution. With Frizzo milk powder, the world will have more healthy babies and happy moments.
Food fresh company, they are very proud of the quality of their milk, also because they claim their milk is from grass to glass, so it's very fresh. But they are afraid that someday their competitor will leverage blockchain to claim that their milk, also the milk powder quality is very good. So they want to know how blockchain can help with their business. That's why the video design team by Dalian design a video solution for them. And after they see that this is a video, the CIO decided to run solution POC.
So instead of giving a blockchain, we gave them a video.
You gave them a video.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's the way. I'm not going to run every blockchain project.
So two questions. One, how many? I saw a number of these, but just to get my head around this, how many people do you have who are blockchain knowledgeable? And how many of these projects did they end up executing? So you had POCs, and then you had projects that you were implementing whatever. Give me a view of these.
Yeah, we have around 50 people training with blockchain.
1.5 or 5.0?
50. Trained with the blockchain skills. But due to the we don't have too much blockchain project. 10 of them assistant with the POC solution engagement this kind of things.
And then how do you get your projects? Is it all over the world, or is it just your Asia Pacific region, or you also have India competing, right? So
Yes.
how do you get these blockchain projects?
Yeah, for Japan we have some advantage, right? Because we have a team who can speak.
And language,
Yes, that's the advantage we have. For Singapore, compared to India team, they have a large team than us.
Okay.
Yeah, we deliver one blockchain project for Singapore that is the contract management blockchain solution. We only have one architect participant in this project, but most of them are from India team.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we did the architecture, India did the delivery.
Yeah, we did part of the solution.
Yeah, I was curious how the Netherlands company Friso sort of came to you.
Good question. We have, we have also the CIC team in Netherlands, right? We have
part of our team worked for the Netherlands. There's no CIC in the Netherlands.
Yeah. It's
Netherlands project.
Netherlands project.
But this is from China. They want to set up the POC in China. That's why we collaborate.
China had a big problem with milk. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The milk powder was, they were putting plastic material in it to fake the protein level.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of children died, and it was a big major issue. So this is a very important health.
And in the case of the competition with India, we think that China is a huge market. So a lot of international companies want to come to China. So a lot of successful cases we've done is those international companies who has set up a brand business want to penetrate the Chinese market. We need the Chinese insight, and then all those customer research and stuff that needs to be done by the Chinese.
And the reason I'm asking is, overall, we are doing okay with the blockchain, right? We could do better. And I'm curious if we are fraying our focus between there's a center in India, there's a center here, there's a software lab in Europe somewhere, and then, so there are so many teams working, and they should be more collaborating, and then maybe that's
This is a problem I have in general, is the demand and supply should be managed globally.
Yes.
It should spread across the globe for all the different centers. Otherwise, you're starving one over the other.
exactly.
So
Or
you're
you're incrementally growing slowly.
Yes.
If you collectively work, you could grow faster.
Sure.
Right? That's your point.
Yeah, I fully understand. Currently, we are collaborating with GIC for the blockchain practice. But as you see, there are some other organizations like Blockchain Labs also in Singapore. I try to connect with them to see the pipeline if we can deliver the project for some of them.
Okay.
Currently, they don't have the much demand, so just keep in mind that we have the capability if they have the demand in the future, and we can engage with some opportunities. Also for the MVP, we have another team in US for the MVP release, right?
Right.
Yeah, if our team can participate with this kind of delivery, that will be good for the blockchain practice in China here.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah. I know
platform teams in general is somewhat disconnected from the services.
Yeah.
That's a bigger problem on the delivery side of the services.
Yeah, I know the system level is doing some of the MVP work because they want to run the Linux one and leverage the security container. So that's the other advantage of system team. We need to see our different later these other centers. So we can
figure out something.
Something.
Okay.
The pinpoint for us as well, by the way, the digital marketing platforms, because they're building something for Liverpool, and then it's coming to the Chinese market. Yet we have to do ours as conference calls to explain to them what Chinese are like, what the user behaviors are, and then explain it to the Romanian team to get it done. And then we're delivering Tiffany, the e-commerce platform. And the work is done by India. They're using a translator to translate the words, and words that roll wrong, things like that. So I think globally we can do something, distributed work. If it's relevant to the Chinese market, right? And then we will improve the different excellencies.
Management distribution planning that's based on pricing, right? So it's like, oh, price is this, oh, there, price is there. Europe usually likes the Romanian team because they're easier to communicate with.
Yeah, proximity, right?
Yeah. So the US team like, Mexico, Brazil. So I mean, proximity makes sense, but if you're going into Chinese market, it doesn't make sense.
Even if you're in Europe, if you're going to Chinese market.
To explain to you how to build in the Chinese market, and then you do all the work there, right? To some extent. So since you started on digital marketing, why don't you continue and then we go to commerce?
Sean has been waiting.
Can we talk a bit more or do you want to start? So let Ray and which content is more interesting? Digital commerce?
Kind of calculation here.
We can cover both, it doesn't matter.
Okay, let's go digital commerce. Well, we were going to cover both, we just wanted to know which one you want to start with first. So let's cover digital commerce.
Good morning, this is Sean from China digital commerce practice area service lab. I'm going to take you through the China CIC digital commerce capabilities and offerings and show you some case studies here. Mohamed will cover some of the case studies as well. So, for the offerings here, as you can see, here's IBM global capabilities. First, IBM already has some solutions based on the different commerce building blockers like merchandise selling, marketing, and supply chain. Also, IBM provides package solutions in the commerce area like web server commerce, e-commerce for the order management systems, and Unica for precision marketing, metrics in the backend for the statics, analytics. For entire commerce solution can be based on the DevOps technologies and methodology like using some other methods like design thinking, agile, DevOps, etc. For China CIC capabilities, we already have rich experience to working out solutions and some engagements on the different areas like banking, mobile, and airlines. Also, we have a very strong architecture team working in digital commerce area, like microservice, leveraging microservice technology, and also doing driven development method to build the requirement analysis and the system architectures. So we have some experience to help clients shift their legacy system from traditional IT environment to the cloud-based environment. For example, here we helped in the 2007 helped the Magna Cloud shift their legacy system in China from the third-party IT environment to IBM Cloud. So this is one example here. Also, in entire capability here, so we can do the customization for the clients. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. For capabilities. Here is our China CIC digital commerce capability overview. As you can see, we have in total for according to the language, English and the Chinese skills combined together, we have such a we already have 160 people in the skill in digital commerce area. Also, a split a little bit by skills. You can see web scale commerce, we have in total 50 people. Certain commerce for order management, we have 12. Some other third-party OMS tools, we have 33. For message broker and ESB relevant skills, we have 76. Overall, you can see we have total 6 sites on those kind of skills. Dalian is a majority part, 52 people. Chengdu 36, and also we have Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen. You can see here the band distribution of resources. Here is one proved architecture reference architecture using the major technologies. It's a web-scale commerce studying plus IIB. So this reference architecture is used by IBM Global as well. I think this is a kind of GBS asset. So basically, we can using the cloud-based platform as a backbone. Here is the API interface or API gateway here to leverage some tools and procedures to do the processing and monitoring. Here are some GBS assets like we already defined or developing some of them like payment assets. In China we have a very complex payment modules like WeChat Pay, Alipay, China UnionPay, etc. So how to leverage those assets to fit China local market needs? It's a kind of solution we already leverage to build. Also here is some legacy systems like GE, SAP, offshore, Red Hat. We can use that assets to collaborate with those systems. I'm going to take you through the 22 cases here. One is Boots, the other is Dalian. So Mohamed will cover the rest of them. For Dalian case, actually Dalian case is based on the solution I just mentioned. It's web-scale commerce plus study commerce and IIB. So client's challenge was client want to transform the different channels like online and offline together. So we need to do a solution like we already did something design and implement a user-friendly interface both fit for mobile and the PC side. And we leverage web-scale commerce 7 and WC and web-scale content management system to provide the solution to the client. As a result, user and the client have better user experience in this area. Besides this, we have some like big data analysis in the backend to deeply analyze client behavior to have marketing precision based on that technology. That's quite much. This is an ongoing project. We already have like 20 people in the project in China, and also an India team as well. In India side, there are over like 20 as well. So we combine together to work on this client. This is Dalian case. Dalian case is basically using the microservice technology. First, we need to do some like domain-driven development, design, architecture, type design to understand their business logic, and also the client's intention was to improve the operation of shopping malls across the country. So far, they already have like 200 malls offline. So they want to combine those lands together. So as a solution, we provided integrated membership management to provide their to collaborate their online and offline data together. So they have a unified membership management system. Also in the backend, we provide the big data analysis as well. So we want to leverage something new, like a person digital commerce capability to do some cognitive solutions for clients in this area. So that's quite much from my side, I think.
I'm going to cover some microservice cases. This one is for this is Daimler. Basically, what we built for them is a platform to allow third parties to consume data from the car, all the IoT sensor data from the car, also send data to the car. It's not only the platform, but also the DevOps pipeline, and it was running on multiple cloud. It was running on Azure, IBM Cloud, and in China on Ali Cloud. So we did a content management or a cloud management across all these clouds as well. It was a complete end-to-end delivery platform, as well as ability to open these services to the consumers of these services. For example, autonomous driving and things like that. Also, it had a GitOps operations in it, which means developer can just define, software define the services, the platform that they need, to all get automatically generated for them, and they're able to do everything. When the code is ready and passes testing, it goes from testing to user acceptance to production. All completely automated, no touch. Nobody needs to touch anything. Another showcase is this is for Shanghai.
How long was that for that Mercedes
project?
Yeah.
Well, it was started in 2017, and our participation was mainly in 2018 at China. I was responsible for China delivery, which will happen on Ali Cloud. So we took everything that the German team built for IBM Cloud, and we worked it and built the infrastructure for Ali Cloud and deployed it there. The other thing that I was responsible for is also the cloud management across all the different clouds. So at that time, the multi-cloud manager did not announce, so it was only cloud automation manager. So we integrated that with DevOps Commander, with a lot of other things, and we built a complete end-to-end GitOps operation.
Okay.
With Ansible, Sprinter, all these services, Terraform, and we built all the automation for building all the services based on the software definition. But sadly, as I told you, the project actually ended because of this. So this was done for Shanghai Volkswagen. And what we've done for them is we connected 1,000 dealer stores, built a system to support 1,000 dealer stores and able to support 20,000 online visitors in the same time. So it's a complete microservice solution able to scale on demand.
Question on this microservice architecture. Do you use the microservice generator that Rakesh and his team have been developing and keeping?
No, we haven't adopted any asset. Actually, we were building one asset here on the Fondo for a framework for microservices. But yeah, that was not. The problem that we get is like a client like Volkswagen, they are really focused on open source technology. They don't want to use anything that's,
This is not a framework technology. Yes. It's a framework. It spits out the microservice stuff which you even the YAML is created. The best thing is that's all the thresholders for error checking and exception handling. If you need to introduce a new standard or whatever, you can introduce it into the builder and it will automatically support it.
based on Spring Boot.
I think it's based on the budget. They started with Spring Boot and they are giving support.
So they give us support.
That is, I don't know. I know it's the roadmap. I don't know if that's That's where my problem has been with the Rakesh team. They're sort of keeping it close to themselves. I get you as it should be the asset sharing platform. Because everybody ends up creating microservices and everybody at some point or the other will be smart enough to say, I can create a generator with this, right? So there's going to be duplication. That's what I was trying to know.
Really created a generator. Yeah,
there you go.
I
told you smart people end up creating it.
Yeah.
Because once you do it, you figure out, wait a minute.
problem. We need to announce this in the global.
Yeah.
We can contribute.
I'm saying make it open source, right?
Yes.
I mean, they have a roadmap, but they have limited people available to support it. I said, make it internal open source, and then everybody can contribute. But you can still maintain the governance and control.
We also have a generation for Microsoft Core. So
You also
See?
manage
Of course, sure.
we have.
See, well, if you get all that management everybody together, it will be unbeatable.
You should refer.
You guys can scoot back in and Nanoxen can take it over.
One question. Assuming that they are able to transform their legacy application to the Microsoft, right?
Right.
So is there any difference for that? That we have many opportunity to the legacy transformation.
You mean for this Dalian case? This case? Right.
Is the legacy application running over before?
Yes. It's not only this one. The entire China, I think major multi-device companies are transforming.
Are you asking, is there an asset to do it?
Is there a way or an approach that you've taken legacy application and created microservices?
Yeah.
I think it's custom done for every client. I don't think there's any, we didn't build any practice or anything. But basically, you start from the infrastructure, from the clustering, the containerization, and then start to define microservices.
But you're more talking about identification of microservices based on legacy application or?
So customer previously used a code-based application running on the D system, but they try to transform to the application to the cloud and running on Microsoft running on the cloud. So in that case, we have started to how to convert the application to the Microsoft. Also, we should transfer the ecosystem to the cloud, so that we should collaborate with GPS and GPS and so on.
I think it's a very good point. Last week I was on the training, microservice run training. Actually, we have one colleague from GCG side. They worked for Verizon microservice rather project running Huawei. Actually, Huawei is using microservice to define some microservice platform. Use that platform to communicate their latency systems. But there's one department to do. And another one is BP oil company. They want to open some stores in China as well. So they need to leverage microservice technology. I can maybe we can talk this offline. I can show you some real case about how to define the microservice service. How to define those microservices and what is the deep solution regarding that. If you are interested, we can talk about that.
We want to approach first one, just build Scala view to the microservice. There's another one, we should fix the data application. It's just a capturing to connect to the API to the data application. It's like a microservice. We should start how we should select the two approach to the customer. So mostly we just have a successful project for the API-based interface to the legacy system. We have, but I'm starting to now time we should think about how do we transfer their legacy application to the microservice.
Right.
My thinking is we should follow several ways. The first is we need to identify the business logic. A lot of business components need to be clearly defined, and we can choose two ways. The first way is we can use the EDD, yes, that's this part. So we can separate the microservice based on some business. For example, this business is for this part. So we create a microservice for this. And another way is we create some common model to make that microservice. For example, everybody have a single sign-on function, and we need to validate people, whether we have authority to this and to that. So this kind of thing can be published as a microservice.
Right.
So we can clearly drive the microservice definition from the business perspective, and then we identify some common parts and create something. And at the beginning, we cannot define very detailed ones. The more detailed, the more complex, because service need to communicate a lot. So basically, the best practice from my understanding is
we have a rough one, and then we can start. When we do the coding, we can consider how to split them out. And for example, for A and B services, they all use C part, but the C ever is a part of A. So we can take C out and make them as a standalone services. And so it's a revolution path, not a start from beginning. So, but we need to make sure this kind of interfaces has been following the structure. For example, we use the Spring Boot framework, and all of the services need to be defined in kind of communicated through the bin or some, and make them know the balance. So this kind of thing needs to be predefined, and so then we can easily to design. So it's step by step.
How connected are you guys also to the microservices community?
We don't know that.
We do that. So, Bill Brown, is a DE, right? Is the DBS. He is one of the leaders, if not the leader, in microservices community. I know that Bill Brown, Sunil Joshi, Shahir Daya, and a few others who have written some red papers, red books, course material, whatever, for microservices training. Those guys, and then a bunch of others, are all part of this community. So you guys should get clear. Yeah.
You guys can scoot over. Still have a lot of things to show.
We'll stand for a bit.
Okay. Digital marketing. It's quite new for us actually. So there are a lot of products on the market already. Adobe, Salesforce, yes, and all Watson Commerce as well. And I know that the marketing team led by Michelle, so they're using Portal, and they're offering CPI's kind of service to help you do your marketing as well. So there's a lot of solutions to the marketing team, and then I bet every marketing director is getting phone calls every day. We have a solution that can fix all of your problems. So in this case, as IBM, I think we can offer a single point of view on how digital marketing is supposed to be done. And then we're sitting down with you to talk about what kind of system you're using, what kind of CRM system you're using, and then find out the right perfect solution for you. Instead of just giving you solutions for Salesforce and Adobe, things like that.
Right.
And then it's pretty amazing that 5 years ago, when I'm in marketing, everything's based on experience. So I've done it before. I know it's better. That this is how it's done. But right now, everything's based on data because everybody is connected with their phone. The digital marketing budget is growing to 50% of every company's budget, digital marketing budget. So how to get it done? Here we believe that to do a successful marketing campaign digitally, you need to have three elements. The first thing is engagement hub. It's your database where you capture all the behaviors of your customers and then all of the data of them as well. Of course, under their consensus with cookies and everything. And then the second is automation engine. Basically, the triggers create the campaign automatically based on the kind of mechanism you set before, and then across all of your channels. And then there's analytics engine. It leverages the data, leverage engagement hub that you have, and then to create measurements for the entire campaign to allow you to measure your campaign impacts. So, as a marketer, what is the day-to-day journey of your life? First, you need to find out leads, generate leads, and then once you have them in the system, you need to nurture them, give them a score. Once they pass a certain threshold, give them to the sales to close the deal. And then even though the deal is closed, you still need to think how to upsell them, cross-sell them, and then make the best experience ever to make them your brand advocacy,
right,
to keep their loyalty and stuff. So how to generate leads? When they first come to your website or your APPs, they're anonymous to you, right? You don't know who they are. But then once they start clicking and start reviewing content, you begin to know them, even though without a name. So, personalized web content, there's a video for it. Basically, the content is all dynamic. So based on the behavior where you click, they show you the personalized content, which improves the conversion rate. And then the second thing we do is landing page. If you have a certain event, you create a specialized landing page for people, then the conversion rate will be improved as well. And then you can capture leads on social media using these tools. For example, you're creating a campaign, and then you know you're targeting the executives from a certain industry. So you find out the executives in that certain industry when you're scrolling their social media pages like LinkedIn or then they will find an advertisement that made specific for them. And once they're reviewing it, they're interested, they could still go back to the web page you created for them. And even if they have problems, you can create a little checkbox at the bottom to get more information. So that's the lead capturing part. Once they're in your system, you need to nurture them, give them the right content. It's about who, what, and when. So basically, you identify the group of people, either who's already in your database, or you can upload a spreadsheet with a certain contact information of people. And then you need to define actions. You want to send them an email, you want to send them a tutorial, you want to send them a piece of ad, what kind of content you want them to consume, and then when you want to send them. Maybe after they click on this link, after they visit our website, after they went to our event, I will send this specific content so that you make the experience more consistent. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
These things doesn't. And then you need to give them a score. Sorry about the.
That's right.
And then you need to give them a score. Sometimes you give them a score according to their behaviors, but then that's not all. Imagine that I visit Adobe every day. I watch a lot of their content, but I'm not going to buy their services because I'm one of the consultants that want to learn their knowledge. So you need to have a demographic score as well, telling you whether or not this looks like your buyer. And then combined with their behaviors, you will know exactly who's ready to pass on to the sales team. And then, of course, cross-sell, upsell, but it's all based on the life cycle management. So what does the life cycle look like? This is a typical life cycle. So they're first anonymous to you, and then they nurture, they become engaged, and then they become. And then, of course, with these tools, there are 2 rooms. Your marketing team and the sales team sit together to talk about what is the right life cycle and what do I want to do during each time milestones for those life cycles. For example, when they're engaged with us, what do we want to do? And when they're already purchased, what kind of services I want to provide, things like that. That's how we do this. And then, of course, in these tools, you can test them before you actually make them active. But these are all based on the fact that can I just forget about it, keep on with this? And then, of course, within those toolings, you can measure all of the success. So everything will be presented by the dashboards. So you know which one leads to the most lead generation, which one closed the most deals, and you can have a multi-touch attribution to know what's working and what's not, and where should I put my next dollar.
Right.
So that's the normal life cycle.
So how do you take this to a client? So, you're explaining to me a normal marketing and management life cycle. So then, so what?
I normally will set up a workshop with them, talk about their existing systems, understand where is their finance data stored? Where is their CRM data source stored? Do you have a enterprise database? What's the structure of your company? And then what's the nature of your business? Are you to B, to C, or you have both? And then to talk to your sales and marketing together. How you normally, what's the conversion rate of your marketing ready people to the sales ready? What's the conversion rate? And how big is each of your contracts? And what's your target for next quarter? So based on the next quarter target, you need to have how many contracts signed, and then you need to have how many people ready at this stage, and then that stage. You need to have all those information ready. Then we can sit down and discuss how you want to plan this, how you want to plan this entire life cycle, what are the content, and how to make things automatic.
And any comparison to print media and other visual media, sort of like campaigns?
It's all incorporated. If it is not digital, then you need to upload those data into the system as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, we go through all of this, and then what do? You recommend a system, or you create something that's personalized for us?
Yes.
For the
First,
client? Or?
yes, you need to find out which one fits them the most. If it is 2C, then it's probably Adobe. If it's a 2B, maybe Online Careful or Salesforce portal. You need to choose the product first. But then every product has their shortcomings. You need to tailor-made according to the client's requirements. So I will tell them that this is what they have right now, and these are the things that we need to improve. We need to create XYZ workflows to make yours happen, things like that.
So how many of these digital marketing workshops have you guys done?
Very little, because we're CICs.
Right.
So, but we are engaging with Caterpillar at the moment, and this is what we want to do. This is pretty new, actually.
Okay.
I created this very recently, so we are using this.
Like yesterday?
Not we have one client at the moment, it's Caterpillar. We want to host this, but this is my plan to get it done.
Okay, good.
Yes. But it's pretty new to us.
Yeah, I mean, digital marketing is relatively new, and as you say, there's a lot of products out there, but none of them really meet exactly what the client wants. So going in with a holistic view of, let's look at it in a product agnostic way, but more from what do you want to get out of it.
Yes.
Right? And then figure out what fits the.
Is there any APIs exposed to another registry like my customer data? So because especially in differentiate the total compared by every service. The first estimate customer using the kind of total to estimate and for each service provided by each company. And next going to this service, select this service I want to go. So I wonder, this is an ecosystem, like an ecosystem. First is another system we will have to select the service and so on, and going to this service. So I wonder there is to be an exposed several API to support this.
Right now, and then yeah, exactly. It's a great area where we can explore. As I said, this is pretty new to us, and then this is a new practice. So our team is learning this as well. So that's an interesting area to explore.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go this way. Right, Tyron. It's our
This
is strategy team. Katie, part of our strategy team. So if you can come here, I'm the strategy team.
Yes, this is Karen. I come from digital strategy team, and today I will show you about our two focus area: digital business strategy and technology and data strategy. First, about this digital business strategy. China is a huge market, and most of our clients is very interested with Chinese market. Like this case, we work for Panasonic, and they are very interested with China new retail business model, and they want to learn from China market. So we did some deeply research for them, and we give them the suggestion of their for their business transformation. And the other case about this is Sompo Japan. In Japan, a big insurance company. They are interested with China insurance market, and also they are very interested with their in China ICT trends. You know, a lot of China local insurance companies, they are now in the top 5, maybe top 3 in fintech area. So they want to learn something from our Chinese. So we did this research for them and give them suggestions and hints. And about this centric, actually Janice will show you the detail later about this case. And now you can see the guys sitting here. We are mainly doing the technology and data strategy for 2 clients. About this client, Showa Denko in Japan, actually they have business in China, but they want to know more about China. You can see a little interesting thing that if you search their homepage about their area information, and they have the 3rd market share in their business. It's cool, but there is an exception, except China. You can see that. Yes, actually they cannot estimate China market. They don't know how about China market. And in the old days, we search from websites from here, from there, but now we using technologies. Like we use Watson Explorer to see the data from the news, like 10,000 news or much more than that. We cannot read it one by one by our human, but Watson Explorer could deal with it. And not only the Japanese, the Chinese, the English version, actually we use Watson Translator. Actually, sometimes they say Watson Translator is not good for translation compared with Google, but actually we did some samples to translate and compare. Watson did very well. Okay. Yes, it's amazing. And now, you know, the data, now the culture was defined by interface. I think that's gonna prove true because we can use the visualization tools in China. You can see the charts there. We use some open source named eCharts, and that provided from Baidu to the Apache. And now we're using this visualization tool combined with strategy and make the strategy visualized. Let the system tell story with to us. And the other use case about this query, the same area, Japan chemical industry company. Actually, we use the same system, but very different ways. And they have amazing products, but not sell very well as they expected. So we find new business area from the patent. Yeah, we use Watson Explorer to analyze the patent, see new business areas, and now we have got some results for them. They are they are deeply researched that now, and we always work with Japan GBS. I think maybe if there will be a chance, we can use those systems, those smart. Actually, we treat this system as our coworker. Yeah, we communicate with each other. We read this lady, and this lady tells the stories. I think maybe there will be a chance we can work with worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And actually, our digital strategy focus on another area about talent reinvention and TTV.
Before we jump there, I just want to tell you that she's fluent in Japanese.
Very
Very fluent. So you can test her if you want.
Okay, so
Excuse me, one question. So
Okay.
I like to
Speak
share,
Japanese.
strategy.
Hi.
So I will change my mind. So strategy. What's the output of the strategy you propose?
Yeah, we
Is a
provide
roadmap
some.
or architecture or something?
Yes. Actually, we only do the business case design.
Okay.
We from the data to see the stories and tell our clients about the stories from the data and give them the consulting about the consulting parts. Actually, we have delivery team leader, and they will do the other delivery project from. Actually, when we think about the business case design, yeah, our clients see their value and then come to the delivery project, and our delivery team will do it. Yeah.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Actually, we are using a Flex WGX water power to collect data from the internet and then a lot of analysis based on this kind of unstructured data. That will provide us a overview, help plan, what we can find out from this kind of data.
And actually, not only the Watson
Yeah,
is powered,
others.
it's a little boring for technical guys. So they write some algorithms to extract some keywords from the value of the data. Yeah.
Okay, so we can go to the next part. Okay. So hi, Ray and welcome. My name is Chow, and I'm the program manager of the iPhone 90 asset. So you can see that on the talent reinvention practice, we have two wonderful assets that today we want to introduce to you guys. One is iPhone 90 and one is IBM Feedback 2. So I believe later on Janice will introduce the IBM Feedback 2, and now I will focus on the iPhone 90. So before I do the introduction, I want to ask you guys, have you ever heard about this asset before? Yes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so which content have you experienced before? What's the name?
What do you mean which content?
Which content? Which in that?
For iPhone IT, like cognitive build, Spacemaker.
Yeah, which one?
So cognitive build was ran.
Cognitive build is where I remember the first time I heard about iPhone 90. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful. I know maybe you have been working for IBM for so long time, so you of course you know that. But maybe there are two things maybe you don't know, because first the iPhone 90 supporting now back here.
That I do.
Yeah. Okay. And the second thing is we did transfer it, and now it's asset-based enterprise level innovation solution. Yeah, and we are selling it and we are marketing to our clients. Okay. So let's go to the basic concept. I think maybe you guys have already had the experience of iPhone IT. You know, some people told me, oh, iPhone is an ideation tool. Actually, it's not just the ideation, because we also have the crowdfunding. We give people the virtual money to let them go to the website to submit their idea, and then all the employees will discover the ideas, and also they will do the investment to help the enterprise to get the best idea of the valuable process for their enterprise. And so why we need to use the IBM iPhone 90? I think we can talk out into 4 dimensions. One is the business impact. So think about the contribute. At that time, the IBM was jumping into the area of the computing. So it has lots of business impact. And the second is the employee model. Each time when we support the campaigns, no matter it's internal or external, the employees, they feel very excited because they have the right to decide their company's future. So they feel that they are also the decision maker, and they feel that they are also part of the company's transformation. And the third part is the business process, because we know the traditional model is
people go to a website to submit the ideas, but the process is very too long. Maybe they will have several counts of the review session, and then the reviewer will come out into will announce the final announcement. But it's very duplicate. But in iPhone 19, everything is very agile. Everything is very transparent. So no matter what kind of role people will go into this website, no matter they are submitter or viewer or investor or even the client, they can go to the website to do the ideation together. And the last thing is they can collaborate with each other. Some of our clients also have the ideas that they will invite their external client, their end user, to go to the website and to collaborate with them together to help them decide what's their next product to the market. So I think maybe you guys know the milestone of the iPhone 19. We can go from 2014, 15, 16, and 17 to last year. This year, with our IBM, we will have a specific theme and topic for iPhone 19. And you can realize that, I think you can realize that because each year is our IT trends.
Right.
Yeah, it's mobile, it's cloud, it's cognitive and agile. Yeah. So I think our IBM use this reform successfully, and we also want to use this asset to our export work. Because the time is quite limited, so I would love to jump into this session. Because
before you go there, is that also on iPhone 90 or is that different?
It's iPhone 19.
I'll let you finish that and then I'll ask my question.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. The contribute one, I think we are familiar with that. Also, 2 years ago, we held the Space Maker.
Right.
The Space Maker.
Yeah.
The global retro team, they found each winners about $5,000 US dollars to help them to build the Agile Space. And also there is Agile Space in that building, Japan Panasonic project. Okay. They are also working in that space. Yeah, no, that's okay, wonderful. And so I want to introduce this case, and I want to set because this year we successfully signed a pilot contract with Japan Ricoh client, and we are helping Ricoh to do their enterprise transformation by using iPhone 19 to drive their enterprise level innovation. And we also work with the Japan GBS team to do the idea synthesis and design thinking, and also the video promotion. And we collaborate with each other to help clients find their pinpoint about their transformation. And they realized they need to do the mobile application development with this company. So the first topic of this will be the mobile. Yeah.
So let me ask my question.
Sure.
So, have you heard of the tool called CrowdSeek?
Yes, I saw your blog last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you announced.
And that was the origins of that is that 2 years ago the North American team, when Ishmael was running North America, he funded a team to go and build something called crowdsource, or I forget the name of what that is. No, that was the new name.
Green NT?
Yeah, there was something, I forgot the name of that. So they built something mainly sort of crowdsourcing for learning, is what it is. And that project, I think it came to a certain end state. They ran, maybe a few thousand projects, and then so you can go in and submit a project, and then people can join together to develop. It's all volunteers, and then there's a way of tracking your skill with the projects and all that, right? That's slightly different. So when I think something happened and they decided to cancel that project, right? So I looked at it and said, there may be an asset here, so we sort of took that over, renamed it, and commercialized it as scratch. We picked up what they had and then obviously added on. Now what has happened since then is CrowdShift has become a part of the talent offerings, right? Which means it addresses a certain aspect of what the talent offering covers. And I think this should cover certain aspects of what.
I've been trying to speak with something.
Diane?
So the talent
Amy?
Amy, yeah.
Amy?
Trying to connect with Amy for a while. She said she's going to set up a meeting, but never happened.
Well, let's forget Amy. Talk to James. James.
Actually, I'm already found connection with James.
Yeah. So I think what we should do is, since this you said is also a commercialized asset, we should look at. I would look at this as we have a suite of assets, or an asset that supports the talent platform, and then these are all capabilities within it, and then or features as they call it. And then depending on what the client wants, you just give them one feature or you give them three features. It becomes a menu that they can pick off. Because right now they're all disconnected and competing and overlapping, and I think we should rationalize.
Yeah, I had a call with Jack before, and we are thinking maybe we can do some integration, but no follow-up. And you know, the CrowdShift is not just the crowdfunding. They have no funding part.
There's no funding part.
Yes.
Yeah, which is good because there's no overlap from that standpoint. So if somebody says, look, I want to do this, how do you do it? Now that's one.
And CrowdShift is something like combine the application, combine the content, the challenge, the ideation, also the coach part, and also some other functions.
Yeah, they're combined into one larger one, but then you can, if a client says, I don't want the crowdsourcing part, I want the coaching part, you can go ahead and just sell them, right? Because they're both capabilities. Now that's one. The second is, there is another one that we end up inheriting from research, and we have enhanced it, and this is called the innovation engine. And it may be rebranded as garage engine, depending on whether it is used inside a garage or inside something else. That also has, that doesn't do a lot of what you are doing here, except I think what is common in all of these is the notion of submitting an idea. And then you're saying, I'm going to let you ask for funding, manage it, select it, and all that. What CrowdShift does is it says you can submit a challenge or a project, and then I can find people who can operate or work on it, so on and so forth. What innovation engine does is it says you can submit a project, I'll help you find research assets and other assets that match that, and I'll also help you find people, right? So we're trying to rationalize CrowdShift and that. That's number one. I think the funding part of it would be an interesting extension to it that we can add on. So there are three of these things that that I know exist, and we should be able to sort of stitch them together so that they complement each other.
So do you think it's possible to hold a meeting with the offer manager? And would you mind to have us to?
Yeah, so we'll follow up with Ray and then set it up. And
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's my part.
Since our development, and now IBM has some methodology about design thinking and DevOps and other, a lot of the team have asked the question how to link that together. Actually, we don't know how to do that. What ways to do in each phase. So Mohamed lead the team deliver this kind of task. So we need to bring that company together.
So for you innovative is also this kind of approach.
Yeah. There's a
already innovative.
Cloud innovator.
Cloud innovator.
Yeah.
This was an Academy of Technology initiative that I ran with Phil Gilbert's team and our DevOps team, the Garage team.
When was
we
this?
built this? This was in 2017.
Okay, I think Cloud Innovate came in 17, 18. And now Cloud Innovate is going to be morphed into the IBM Garage method.
I mean, they all lead into the same path, right?
Yeah.
We just had to get with Phil Gilbert team and figure this out early on when we were doing the agile transformation from our subgroup. This came out as part of the point of view on how to integrate IBM design thinking agile.
this is actually the guidance on how to do and which tasks need to be done in which phase. Basically, in design thinking, we have some client journey and application map, and we identify a lot of hills and considerations. So in this phase, we start iteration 0. We do some comparison in this phase, and in this phase, we have defined the task. In purple, this is the task of design thinking, and green one is the agile DevOps one. This one. So in this one, basically, we will do some.
So let me stop you and make sure I understand this. What is the outcome of this? I know this is interesting to me because you have combined design thinking, agile, and supported that with DevOps, right? And what do you apply this for? A development project, a design project, all of the above, or what is the outcome?
So the idea was to try to find out how to use these methods to deliver a project end-to-end.
Right.
And the idea was design thinking gives you the hills, right?
Right.
So what does the hills map to? They map to an outcome of iterations.
An outcome of iterations, okay.
Which is already an MVP. A hill is an MVP, right?
Right.
So, or an epic, right? So that's what we've done. We said, okay, we'll use design thinking, and we will define these hills, and these hills will be, I would need 2 iterations to deliver hill 1, I would need 4 iterations to deliver hill 2, and so on, right? But the point is,
and
so what
just
do I
so we
need to
get
get
the terminology right, your iterations equal sprints.
Okay. So how do I get to do this? I have to do iteration 0 where I do set up my environment, where I do high-level initial architecture, initial design, right?
So you're saying iteration 0, you have a template here that says, I want to do this. And maybe you do most of it, all of it, but it has to be done for every project. Yes. Okay.
Then after you've done with iteration 0, you have the environment now you can start iterate quickly,
right.
Smaller iteration. So this might take 6 weeks.
And then do you have a framework, a template for each of the iterations?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so each iteration we say what happens inside with DevOps and Agile practice. So you wouldn't have design thinking, mainly DevOps. So continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous deployment, continuous builds, and then the Agile practices are the retrospective, the daily scrum, the backlog, grooming, things like that.
So let me think about this for a second. So I get the DevOps part, I get the Agile part. What I don't get is where is the design thinking inside the sprint? Or well, nice, sprint, and then for each of those iterations, for a given iteration or a given hill.
So there is 2 methods of sorts, right? There is one that says you would do your design thinking and ideation, all of that at the beginning, and strategy and discovery, and part of iteration 0. And then after that, you may need basically Agile DevOps, right? If you are coming up with new ideas, you will go back and do it.
You go back there. You don't do it here.
You don't do it here.
Okay, that's a guidance.
Then you start a new hill, you define
you start a new hill.
And that plans a new backlog for you. So it creates
So you may say, look, in my initial design recommended 3 hills.
Yes.
But then while I was in hill 2, something new came up. I went back here and it said, you don't need hill 3. That's okay. You drop that and then go to something else.
And it doesn't mean you're going to have to go through iteration 0 again. You might have all of that already set up. You wouldn't need to go through it.
Or you go through iteration 0 and say, you know what, this one demands a little extra thing to be added to my environment. That's the only thing I need.
And out of this, we did the Agile method framework. So there is a NGS method in the method website, method.IBM.com. We created a framework with all the details for how all
I need
each
to
one of
understand
the
this better because Shankar and I worked a lot on the Innovate. I was mostly an advisor. I didn't have time to get in, so we would debate some of these, and then he'd go out and work with the teams to actually get it done. And then we did the same thing for Mosaic, right? Which is complex system integration. And then we were saying that it's not 2 different; they ought to have to be 1. And then this whole IBM garage thing has come up now. So we have been talking about how do we wrestle that thing to become, right? I'm seeing a lot here that may be leverageable for
There's a lot of content. There's even a training out of this, and a whole like.
What we got to do is bring Shankar into the discussion, take the garage approach or use case and apply it as a use case to this and say, how does this hold good, and where do we need to change what?
I'm happy to.
So yeah, so based on this methodology, actually, I will show at least how we apply the DevOps. Actually, yeah, because I just briefly introduced the project background, and we will have detailed showcase in the lecture. And IOCG is a project I'm currently working on. It's for the IBM security team. Okay, so basically it is for the security guard to checking, who is push door open, and what action need to be taken when the disaster comes, fire alarm, and a lot of things related. So all of about the business in the security part. And this application has been deployed into 30 countries till now. So you can see we will meet a lot of different requirements from different countries. Currently we deployed six instances in the different regions. In AP we have 4, and in the US we have 1, and in the Amsterdam, in the Netherlands we have 1. So one country, for example, Amsterdam manages a lot of countries like Belgium, Denmark, and Norway. A lot of small countries is managed by the Amsterdam. So they have a control center. One control center will manage all of other countries. So security team have their own hierarchy. And for GCG, we have just one server and manage the Taiwan and Hong Kong and the China mainland. So you can see different locations have different hierarchy, and we have some different requirements come from the different countries. For example, for US have a demand is for Genius office, they have cameras, but nobody can see this. Okay, only the emergency thing happen. She press button, the camera is automatically pop up for the security guard. But in normal time, nobody can see this. So this is a unique requirement from US. And for Indian, they have some transportation system. Indian government have a law. So if the woman work overtime, the company is responsible to take her home. So this is for the safety. And so this kind of special requirement, I will talk later. But they have, you can see a lot of, but actually my team have a big problem is when we deploy the code, we need to release the new version every 2 or 3 months actually. So we collect a lot of requirements from different countries, and it's a frequent release. And each time release, we need to deploy into the GCG first, and US, then Amsterdam. So we need to go through this. And each time we need to, at the beginning we take 10 hours to deploy everything. The reason is we often make a problem because each country have different settings, and you deploy code. This code is for this country, and you need to make sure, but there are some settings, new parameters have been added. So sometimes the deployment guy will make a mistake, and we also take a long time to do the regression test on the production environment. We make sure everything is correct, and so this task will take a long time. And the same for our development environment and UAT environment. This requirement is for the US, but the current environment is working for the GCG. So we need to recreate a database, import the US data, and we set up the parameters. So this task will take a long time. And so we decide to use DevOps. So it's the best way for us to do these things. So that's the background. And I can show you, what we have done on this part. So we collect all of the requirements into the GitHub. GitHub is one plugin on the GitHub. Of course, you can use Jira or some Trello or some other things. So we selected GitHub. At the beginning, we don't have a license for the Jira. So with this, and the client will read the 20 requests. They will have the weekly meeting with me, and we will ask them anything you want to add. So they will read their requirement from 30 countries.
So is RenHub like Jira, or is RenHub a facade code here?
It's ZenHub is a plugin and based on the GitHub. You can install the ZenHub plugin in your browser. And then when you look at the GitHub, GitHub have a place to read the issues. So the issues will become a dashboard, and it can be just like the channel. You can move the task from one.
Oh, you can.
You will see the screenshot later. So basically, client will read the requirements, and then we will have a focal for each region. AP region, then we will set up the monthly meeting with the AP region and Europe region and US region. So we meet together, we decide, okay, requirement A is needed, requirement B is not needed, and which is the necessary only for AP, which is only for US. So we will have this kind of meeting. And then my team also will follow the agile process to have iteration plan and square meeting and everything. So we will do this. And then we will dump the code into GitHub. And then we create a Jenkins project. We use the Jenkins to deploy the code and use Jenkins to run the automatic testing. And we use the Ansible to create a script because they have a lot of servers. Currently we have over 30 servers. So each time you deploy code, you need to make sure it's correct. So we use Ansible to make everything work. And we scan the code, source code using SonarQube, and we check all of the problems you need to rewrite in your code. And then we also use the test pipeline in the future by Jenkins as well.
So question, that's stage 3. Have you deployed it, or you have just created a package? Because I would have expected you to do SonarQube after you commit it in GitHub. Not after you deploy it.
SonarQube, they have some tasks. The first task is we put the code from from GitHub, and then we will trigger the SonarQube to make the run code. And then there are some other functions. For example, we need to prepare some data like this. So SonarQube buffer Ansible will make everything work. And then let's continue. And we are using RESTful services. So we use Swagger, and when the test team will run the script just to test the web services without the web page. Test X, use the test NG to run the test cases. And we use the Selenium to do the page testing, automated testing. Because we deploy frequently, so regression test is a major part, and we need to do. And we use the JMeter to test the performance. And this thing will happen when we deploy code into production. And we use the IBM. It's just testing the mobile part, because we have a mobile part as well. So all of the logs have been collected through ERP, Elasticsearch, Kibana, and the log test. So people, support the team, they can see the status, which kind of server generated one error, what we can do. So we also use some other tools to monitor the server performance when the CPU is high and memory is occupied a lot, so things like this. So you will see the screenshot. After you have the plugin, then you like this one. And then you can either send a task to some developers. And you can specify how many start point and which iteration. So people will pull the code from GitHub and they do the change and it will be uploaded. And the team leader will review the code. And if everything is fine, they will merge the code into the master. And this is the pipeline. With preparation, so that you will do everything. This is only for the development part. So I code build out the DB and prepare, other things. Then we will check the SonarQube scan result. And if you basically fail, nobody can. The other steps will block. So it will list which part needs to fix. will do the testing. The reason we split 2 chickens project is sometimes test chickens need to be run multiple times. This kind of job can be run at night. So we plan the job, we deploy the code every morning in the 6 a.m. in the time. So and then we shoot all of testing. When we go to work at night, we have all of everything in the house. So you can see this all of the testing scripts for the slider. And this is the Selenium.
So is this your own DevOps environment, or are you using?
We set up everything.
Okay. What's the one? That at least 3 of them aware.
There is a Boomerang, right?
Boomerang. Well, Boomerang is a more recent incarnation, but there's
DevOps Commander.
DevOps Commander, and then there was one before that. Whatever project code name was that?
Yeah, I forgot its name.
Yeah.
The one that the Agile team set up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot its
Liberty.
Oh yes.
This Project Liberty environment, and then I'm sure the CIO's office has one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
we link with the Slack. You will get the message and whether the deployment is success or fail. This is the ERT feed, and this is the monitor server. So this task has been done every day. And
if your build fails for some reason, do you Slack that as well?
Yes, we will have the Slack information. And after in the production, when we deploy code to production, now we only take 2 hours. Because everything, just click a button, we have already tested everything in the UAT environment.
Right.
So we have stored everything to be flat.
Right.
Click a button and read everything down, and the people will do the regression, randomly test. And then, in the production environment, we also created some special regression testing scripts. Just some simple ones without impacting production data. And we also prepared some special parameters. And if you make the parameter on, then all of the testing data will be hidden.
Okay.
You will not increase in my code.
Have you done some analysis on? Okay, you develop this and then you release this to a client. Client does UAT, right? How successful is that? How many bugs do they detect in that, and how come you didn't catch it, right? Meaning, the whole idea behind this is you want as many bugs to be detected earlier than later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, and is that really
yes.
playing out to be that way?
Yes. Some of the, we have the tool to collect all of the factors. We will do some analysis of the and then we should call the code, and we call either that or raw communication on the environment and so on.
Okay.
And we also next step we plan to do some automatic fix. For example, the CPU is live on the component. We monitor this, and we can trigger a job to destroy this node and create a new one, and make a new one join to the Ruby. So this task can be done automatically. It depends on the scenario. So we can use the GKs to make everything done. And we create, I think, over 30 different jobs and running on the server. At ping speed and whether network have some latency and as the password is sharing a lot of jobs and save the log file and move from one place to another place. So we create a lot of things.
The question I asked earlier, is there a dashboard that shows
everything? Dashboard?
But I mean, here, EMK dashboard, can you see what's happening across the board for your DevOps pipeline?
You mean the DevOps pipeline? DevOps pipeline can be seen from sequence. Sequence will show the status.
I mean, all of the
but it shows me pieces, right? Or it shows me too much detail. Elk shows me certain things. Jenkins shows me certain things.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, hey, I want to step back and don't give me data that each of them does. Aggregate that into meaningful information and dashboard and insight. That's what I mean.
I don't have a place to see everything.
Okay. I think it's a gap that exists. It's a gap that exists. It's not that you haven't created it, but nobody has.
Yeah. So they are literally for the developers. They know everything, not for the Okay, so I will focus on some pieces created by our team. So yeah, this is the one is the big data analysis, and what our client is new energy factory. For example, the solar and the wind, we can generate a lot of power. But this kind of powers they are not stable, right? If the weather is becoming bad, not generate so much power, right? And instead, all of the powers they need to link to the merge into their state grid. Yeah, state grid is China government-owned company, so it manages a lot of the power transformation. So if you have a factory to generate the power, you need to merge them. And they have a requirement. You must give me a accurate forecast. For example, today the weather is bad. You cannot just so enough hours. I need to have some other factories to increase. For example, we use a phone to generate more hours. So some other ways. So if you cannot give me the forecast, you will be punished. So that's the rules. So they have the demand. You must get this kind of accurate forecast. So our team have done. The majority is we collect we get the information from weather.com. You can see weather we call them TWC, the weather company. They will provide this kind of data. They will sell this kind of data. And we know the weather forecast and wind, temperature, everything. So we based on that, we do the big data analysis and we can provide a forecast to the factory. So that's the task. Okay, and look at this one. This one is about the church, the airport, the login. I heard your story.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the Amsterdam.
I've seen that video.
You've seen that video? Yeah. This is a great by our team.
That was not here in Dalian.
Oh. Yes. Actually, in Amsterdam airport, every day they will have 2,000 packets get lost or misplaced. It's a big number. A lot of people can land. And how to reduce this kind of number? So IBM cooperated with the hardware providers. They make them everything automatic. So you just give the QR code, scan this, and they will have a machine taken from one terminal to another terminal. Everything is automatic. So by this,
so you can go in and you don't even have to go check in your bags and individually. You can go to the machine. Actually, and then scan the thing and boom, off.
Yes. So everything is automatic, and by this way, just 50 packets can be transferred. So from 2000 to 50. And this kind of solution is very useful because we harvest at eyesight, we move to another one. It's for the DHL. DHL have similar things. They have the package sorting. So they will have the package sorting center in Germany. Then you can see it's similar like the login classification. So they have the 460 terminals and 6 entries. So you can see a lot of cars will stay here and put the package also into the convey. Right? So everything is automatic. They will have a machine take it and scan the code and move to the different conveys. And we create a algorithm because the package have some seasons. For example, today I have a promotion and the package amount will increase, right? And tomorrow, nothing happens, will going down. So we need to make sure if the package amount going up and there's no risk in the package, you cannot make the whole everything start. You must have some algorithm to manage this package in the different lines and make them go smoothly. So we create an algorithm and make it working, and based on this algorithm, this sorting center can handle 50K packet in 1 hour. So very big amount. So and this solution actually, China Beijing is building new airport. We are selling this. So this is the based on this one companies. It's a good solution in the transportation. This is for the TPWs. We work with really good style TVs, and now the TV we will have a lot of pipes into our own TV, right? And you can download some like YouTube. So we create a solution, based on the needs and people, for lots of people for the TV factory. They can have some bundles and pre-install into your TV. So we provide everything, all of the apps in the mix, and they can select which one you want to select it and pre-install in their TV. And of course, the users can type, I want to install a new program in my TV. So they will go to this website and download. So this solution also will hold a lot of users. And now we are working with them on the sales postcard as well. We start to deal with them and to get the more users. Okay. The sales solution will check which person like this channel and how to sell it, how to reply this kind of thing. Okay, this is the next one. It's called AI part. AI part is for the China a lot of scenarios, commonly using in China. In China we have over 4,000 finance companies, like the banking and like the brokers in some other areas. So we call them finance companies. And IBM and the government have a lot of rules they need to follow. Otherwise, we will punish them. The last year, $400 million has been punished by China government. So they have a strong demand for the China government's policy. And this is the one policy that is counted by the bank. You can see this is the ATM machine. Right. And these guys is putting money into the vault. And according to the law, according to the policy, we must have 3 people standing. Otherwise, one guy will put money in the pocket. Must have 3. So they will calculate how many people here, and if there's some problem, then we will send out an alert. Here have something wrong, so we need to fix that. So
interesting. 3 people have to be there. So as long as 2 of them, agree with each other, they can still put money in their pocket.
Yes,
that's principle of security.
Yes. And I heard one more story. We don't have video, but we make it. Do you see the movie? And there's one guy to cross a door. In the door, a lot of money in there, right? It's a travel bag.
Right.
Right. So according to the policy, you must have 2 bags. One bag is using the password, and then the other bag needs to turn your face in the opposite
direction.
Yeah. If this guy is looking very
that's a problem. Right.
So this use camera to monitor whether this guy's face is looking up on the other side. Otherwise, this machine doesn't work. So a lot of policies you need to follow. And so IBM, our team provided this kind of things. Okay. This one is the one I just showed you the LCC.
Right.
Actually, I can tell you the more about business. Just now it's all DevOps. Before we have this solution, IBM have a door system, right? Everybody swam back, and they have cameras to look at it. For example, there's one scenario. If somebody puts the door open, the door will alarm, and the security guard, they will get a message from the door access system. They will see, the door in this floor has been opened by somebody, right? It's forced open. So I need to check who is doing this, right? Then they go to the camera system to check. In China, in GCG, we have around 800 cameras, a lot of cameras. So you need to identify this door and search the camera list. Okay, this one, then I will look at the DVR server and find the playback only one packet and look at this.
Right.
So this task will take 5 minutes to finish usually. And then in one day we have this kind of task several thousand. At least 1,000, from 1,000 to 2,000. It depends on which country. And some countries, the people, their behavior is good like Japan. There are few alarm techniques.
Yeah.
But for some countries, like India, like Asia, a lot. So you cannot make people, switch from this system to that system. And another problem we are facing is that IBM have a standard. Every country must follow step 1, step 2, step 3. But actually, there is no system force you to follow. So if you can see, if I have this system, some countries they are following the steps, some countries are not. And some security guard they will print these steps and paste it. But if I'm a new guy, I don't know there's a rules.
Right.
I don't know how to handle, right? I just say, okay, that's fine, no problem. So when they have a yearly audit, where's your evidence you are doing everything good? No evidence, right? So a lot of security risk can be generated. From a local level, they don't like this. They want to have some rules, and they want to have one uniform format. When each country submit their security report, they want to have same format. Now, before they have a system, the country A will format A, country B will format B, and the country A have 10 columns, country B only 2 columns. So it's not a good for the audit purpose. So and it's hard to manage the size from the global level. So we create a system. Everything can be linked together. So like the timer system, dog system, everything can be linked together. And the video will be popped up automatically based on the project. If you project 1, it will pop up automatically, no matter what you are doing now. And then you can project 2, then you can click it by yourself. And when the camera pop up the video, it will automatically play back. And usually one door will have 4 cameras. Usually, so 4 cameras will pop up at the same time from different yeah, and display the playback is 30 seconds ahead. So this thing will be automatically. And for some sites, for GCG, some small sites they don't have dedicated security guard. Some they doing this part. So they will not look at the law. They will not look at the system. They are doing other jobs, right? If the alarm happens, this guy will get an SMS notification and same time notification. They will read kind of message. Okay, there's a problem on this floor. This door you must check. So and from the user center perspective, you can see all of the cameras in this country. You can see anytime. So and you also can put this into the video wall. Security team have a video wall like this. By this way, we reduce the command center amount. In Japan, you have 3 command centers, not only Haridaki. That's why I go to Haridaki to divide the solution. So IBM save the money on hiring security guards, and they also save the user center fee, so they reduce the amount.
So do we have a solution that we sell to clients or an asset that we sell to clients? Because this is fairly standard stuff.
Speak about commercialization.
Yeah, we tried. So actually last year I have how to say this? Last year I have invented three clients. The first client is for the AI applied materials to the American company. And they have the demand. They want to set up the system. They go to the Beijing. I explained to them, they are very happy. So I went to Taiwan to sell them. And finally, it failed. The reason is we are from the CIC team. sales is not very focused on this part.
Yeah, this, we had smarter building, perhaps this may have been part of it, but now this, what offering is this a part of? What sales, service line is this going to be a part of? I think maybe IoT, I don't know.
It's a one-off thing.
Yeah, it's a one-off thing.
So we had all the clients great.
Yeah, Tata, this case is actually in Indian, but they don't use our team to deploy the solution. But,
so we sold the asset to Tata.
Yeah, we sold, but Tata still.
Okay.
We have some cases, but from my perspective, my feeling is this solution is good for the global company like IBM, because they have a similar problem. They have a lot of branches.
So do you have it? Do you have the code? When we have the code, do you have the? It may not be packaged and commercialized and all that, but do you have this?
All the code is managed by Humble and his team. So we have all the code. Nobody else has it. We didn't go through a formal commercialization, right?
Yes, not yet.
I've been pushing, but there is some politics here in our organization, so hopefully we can get over the
we introduced a new step or a new stage. There is stuff that you share in the asset sharing platform that everybody has access to. Then on the other end, you have commercialized assets that has a price, that has a statement of work, plugin and all that, and you don't have access to the code and sort of protect it. We call it a crown jewel and all that. What we have now created is something in between, which we call IP protected asset, right? So if it is IP protected, it means that we don't share the code unless somebody really has a signed deal or something, right? But it is still, we say it is valuable enough that commercialization takes an additional step. It takes a little more money to do it, but we have pretty much automated a lot of the IP protection steps. So if you're using open source, it will take in pedigree list and tell you what you need to remedy or remove and all that. But what it means is once you have it, now it's ready for use with any client. And we are also beginning to market all of these one-off assets that we have with clients who may need it, right? So if there are onesie-twosie opportunities that come up, you may not do a lot of work until it's somebody comes up. So the way we market that is we say it's not a commercialized solution yet, but it is getting there. But if you think a commercialized solution is 70% of what you want, this will be 50% of what you want or 60% of what you want, but still it's more than zero, right? So people are beginning to look at that and begin using it. So maybe that's a route that we should talk about.
I think what we need help with is the sales part.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of assets.
Well,
just don't know how to sell them.
Well, you have to first catalog them, and then I have a mechanism of evangelizing. We are running a lot of campaigns. My goal is to run one campaign a day in somewhere in the world, right? For an asset. Now we may not start there; we may run one a week, but that's okay. That's where we are. I've ramped up so that by the end of Q3, I will have one campaign running close to a day. That may be an enablement call, a webinar that we're running for somebody, or a presentation like you are making here about a certain asset to a client or whatever. Something has to be happening. Otherwise, you're right. If we don't have a route to market, then what's the point in having this, right? But now I have only 10 or 15, let's say, of these assets, so I can't create a lot of momentum behind 10 or 15. People say, come and talk to me when you have more. So I need more, right? And I'll help market it. I don't need to maintain it or manage it. I'll help market it, and you guys, can continue to maintain it.
Let's go to the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
We need to rush you. Oh my God.
So my name is Eric. Welcome to IoT Lab. So today I'm going to show you some of our robots. Maybe four. So this is the first one. We call it maintenance robot. So you can see it can recognize the light. And then report. Yeah, it's blocked, and then it's using built on Watson IoT platform, also IBM Cloud, using visual recognition.
Okay.
Let me trigger it first. So now it's working based on obstacles and then
Okay.
next one is you have your hands-on, we call it Discovery Robot.
Okay.
It's also built on IoT platform. It can remotely control things.
Oh, okay. Borders.
Yes. So there's a device here.
This is
Leap
recognition.
motion.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Sorry?
This device is called Leap Motion. You will see his hand, so you can put his hand in front of it and make a gesture.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell it to grab things. And then release.
It's interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So that's the second one, and the third one is.
So actually, let me explain that case. So this gesture thing is usually hooked into the VR thing, and what they see here will be in the VR glasses. So you're actually in a virtual reality and controlling something remotely. Just for demonstration, we just separate.
So the next one is this mind reading robot.
You might have seen it in Herzog. It's the same. So you haven't seen it. So he's using mount control to control this robot.
So it's built on Node-RED.
So he meditates, relaxes, and it goes backward, I think, and he concentrates, like do complex math or something, then use more activity in the brain, then it will go forward, and then he can blink his eye and change colors. I mean, this one doesn't detect that much, but we have another device. Here they go.
How many sensors do they have? Do they have? How many sensors?
I think it's a wave reader, right? So it will read certain waves. These are so much activity or low activities. But basically it's connected to Node-RED, and then Node-RED is doing the analysis of the data. So this one will read much more. So our hope is to use this one to do more gestures, like go right, go left, same thing. Okay. You know, they integrated into the Harman speakers into the car. Actually, they had a Maserati in display in the same 2018, right? So they asked us to convert the solution to support Chinese. So we took it and we trained it to do Chinese. So now you can control a hotel room with Chinese.
You can ask information about the hotel, and also turn on and turn off the devices. Also ask for the weather.
So we also did the same thing for Toyota. For the manual. Okay. You see the one you were showing in the TLE, right?
Right.
About that one. But then we have another one for Toyota where you can speak to the car. You can tell the car, how about this? Can you help me use that?
Switching channels. See in the simulator.
Right. Yeah. And that device is over there in the back of the room.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Oh. Good. Okay, thank you. That's all, right? We have other things. We have this one is a 2D scanners. It scans the room, so you can actually decide how to navigate. So to do autonomous navigation, we have familiar with Alexa, right? We integrated this one with Watson. So to do banking for that same bank that we did the mobile SMBC,
right?
You can speak to it, transfer money from this account to this account. We did a skill in Alexa, integrated with IBM Watson, and then in the back end we integrated it with SMBC banking. Cool. So a lot of interesting things to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we finished the tour of the showcases, but now we're going to see the different studio pods. So this studio pod is dedicated for the iFund IT team. Actually, it's IBM feedback tool team. which is also ACE.
Oh, okay.
It originated as ACE. We built it originally for IBM, and then I took it and commercialized.
Quickly to introduce the IBM feedback tool because of time limit. So the IBM feedback tool is a SaaS micro-tightened application running on Bluemax, utilizing Watson service. It is a peer-to-peer feedback tool to enable employees to get and receive transparent feedback at any moment in time. And also, it can capture ongoing performance, the following the conversation campaigns. Also, it is always on channel for people leader to receive the feedback from the others. And every interaction is an opportunity to offer feedback and help each other be successful. So using the IBM feedback model, we can appreciate someone's effort, coach them, or help them to reinforce or change their behaviors. So now we have two clients. One is the Dalian, who is the first organization outside of IBM using the IBM feedback tool. So we have fully customized for them using the Smart In build capability, using the Watson tag to help the Dalian leader to tag their behaviors. And also we have the Watson tag to help them to give the feedback right. Yes. So another is the client is the Woodside. We have finished the pilot phase. Now it's waiting for their final decisions. So this is for the IBM feedback. Just quickly introduce it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The program I started with Camera Art in 2016, and basically what we do is we picked some of the key AMS accounts, legacy accounts, where IBM is considered just a COBOL support AMS team, right? And we embedded 3 technical professionals in each one of these programs. And what we do is we run a 2-week prototyping. So we pick an idea, run 2-week prototyping, come up with a high-fidelity prototype, and then 2 weeks of implementation of an MVP, and then we showcase it to them. If they like it, we take it and commercialize it. So this is showing 102 POCs run so far, and 45 of these became commercial products. SMBC was one of these, 1 month, and then 4 weeks to Apple Store. So it's a very successful program. The operation cost, I cannot see it here, is like 2-point-something million, but it's generating over 30 million of revenue. So return on investment is huge compared to the investment that's being done by Japan. A lot of clients, a lot of showcases. Also, the team built a portal to showcase all of these solutions in Japanese. So now we come to the design team, the coolest part of the studio. So I'll let you guys present. Who's presenting?
Before presenting, I want you to know that every request you go to the SDL team, come to us.
Okay.
We want 3 videos, right? Chris got the call.
Great.
The new script for the dance video, and also we're producing the smart construction site video.
The heads.
All right.
Yes. So you're going to the client in 2 weeks. We'll have these videos in 2 weeks.
Okay. Very nice. Good.
Now we're
Yeah, 18th and 19th.
Yes, in 2 weeks. Yolanda, do you want to present?
Okay, I'll make a short one. So we are a media team in this studio, and all of us are designers. There are more than 10 members working in different fields, and each of them has multiple skill sets, which means we can back up each other in the delivering high efficiency. So the video here is our members. As you can see in this video, we offer diversified services. We design posters, produce videos, we create 3D models, and we build websites and mobile apps. A lot of things like that. In Airport today, almost every visual work you can see is made by this team. And we also do some business promotion work for other departments and our customers. We believe we are the people who live on innovation and reinvent by design. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, she speaks Japanese. I think maybe what we do.
Okay.
This is a VR solution. It's like 3 years old. It's not very cool, but I'll explain it so you don't have to explain it. If you need, you can play it. So basically what we've done is to show medicine that treats cancer cells, we wanted to create a VR solution to show that to the doctor instead of giving them a manual and explaining things manually. So basically what you do is you just play a game, give it to the doctor with the data, you can play it. So she will start the game, and then it goes inside the body, and then there's 3 different kinds of cells it's going to treat. So she's going to play the game, and then every time she treats one cell, it shows information that says, okay, this is this type of cell, and this is how we treat it. It's okay. Anyways, there's a bird that's gonna come out. It's just a medicine. It goes like an allergy. It goes inside the patient, and then you go inside the stomach and look for kidney cancer. And you go inside the kidney, and you see the vessels in the kidney and the cancer cells, and start to treat them.
Thank you.
This is Shukai. It's one of the words for Shukani a lot, so I'm going to cover it for you. A lot of clients try to penetrate the Chinese markets, and this is one example of a Japanese client, a manufacturer of poses, tried to penetrate the Chinese market. They came in 2006 and opened all the stores. All the stores closed. They failed. And we did analysis for them. We did research. We tried to find what the problem is. One of the things we found is mothers in China expect the baby to be an extension of the mother's fashion. And the Japanese poses are mainly focused on function, not on fashion. So that was a key point that was a big mismatch. And by changing their strategy in their clothing, they were able to improve that. The other thing that we looked at is how they penetrated the Chinese market. Stores are not ideal this time in China. So it's e-commerce, and where, Tmall, JD.com. So we've changed our strategy in how to penetrate the Chinese market, and that's how it's improved. Great one. Then finally, automation. I actually let the team leave because we wanted to rush, but we do a lot of robotic automation for a lot of clients all over the world. We have a lot of demand. Actually, the team is very, very busy. So similar to the India automation COE. So it's an extension of that. And we support a lot of GCC market, local markets from the automation team. So they have a lot of showcases here about different clients they did automation. And we try to use our cognitive team to embed some cognitive automation. And then finally, this is our board that shows all the visits. So you can see your visits here. It shows previous clients that visited us. There's also IoT sensors that are here. This sensor you can see over here checks the humidity, temperature, and so on. And then there's some key news that it picks up.
Cool.
I think one more thing. Go ahead.
Too much.
Quickly, because we have like 30 minutes for lunch. So we have
2 minutes.
Okay.
So basically, last year we have a program named the So everybody can use some new ideas, and we cooperated with some team in Beijing, and we created this app named the Q-Band. So like the band here, and the people maybe I don't want to use this picture, and I want to show something I want to create my own badges. And this badge is, we can see the nearby. For example, you open this, and I open this, I will know you are here. And then you can click this, and then favorite this badge, and then it will be shown in your favorite. And another scenario is in a meeting. In a meeting here, for example, we 3 are in the meeting room, and I create a meeting, and I click this, and then this guy can scan this code.
Automatically gets added.
Yeah, automatically sign in, and you can say it. You will see who is allowed, and you can click box to send the information to this. A lot of people will be signed up. So this kind of thing can be integrated with the TRE sign-in application. So not only the everybody can use this, create their own meetings and share the materials with both others. And actually, we also design connected work to open this source. But the security don't allow us to do it. The outline is to create a beacon devices. And by open this app, I near this beacon devices. Okay, this guy is coming. And because I already have my bag on this pack, so I will know who you are, and I will send out information to the cache system, the door of cache system will open it. And another way is we add a sniffer. Sniffer is the one on the door, and you don't need to take your phone, just put it into a pocket. Yeah, you open your Bluetooth, it will notify you are coming. And we also add a camera on the door. It will look at who is moving to the door, who is moving out. So although I have this phone in my pocket, but I'm moving out, so this door doesn't work. So we have already made the work, I can recognize who is moving in. Yes. But this still needed to get approval from security team, so we cannot control this door, but for the other part, they are okay. And one more case is we create an app for this studio too. So people can just look at this app. So we assume this is a museum. It's a basic museum.
Right.
Just now we told everything, right? So someday it's spinning for you, but maybe you need to do something, you tour, and you help. You hope someday, virtual assistant is talking to you. So we are making this work. So I will show you one thing. Let's go to here. This is the different event, and this is the register. This is the start point, and we create the DR. Okay, you can see.
Okay, now it knows where you are.
Okay. Now
it gives you a path.
Yes, there are some
Right.
defined rules.
Right.
Let's go to this way. We are doing the new way. So some rules can be defined here. Already. Okay. So this is the distribution, and you can see this one. You can see for the virtual. Keep talking, this is the wording. So it's very useful for the museum.
Right. Guided tour.
Yes. Guided tour.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because we have 140 mobile people in Chinese, and I'm the mobile practice leader. So we create some mobile apps. It's just some simple one.
Pretty cool. Very nice.
I think time for you to have lunch.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 minutes, please. I know you will have meeting soon.